How's it going, guys? I'm in Hamilton, Ontario. Um, I'm lucky enough that, well, not lucky enough, actually, the complete opposite, that I happen to be severely allergic to bees, like deathly allergic, and it's on my medical record. So, luckily enough that all my EpiPens have expired, and I don't have a family doctor, and because of this stupid bullshit corona about hoax, they I can't sign on with a new family doctor. So in order to even get a new script, guess what? I get to go to the hospital. So actually, to find out whether I go through emergency for this or whether I go through a different area, it's one thing I'll find out. But I'm gonna get as much videotape and recording of what's going on inside this hospital. When I start up the next part of the recording, I'll be a little closer to the hospital, and I'll show you the sign for the hospital, what the name of it is, and roughly what the parking stuff looks like. And then you guys will get to see the inside. We're a little closer now. Let's see here.
Hey, want to move over that way? Thank you.
What the fuck's your problem, bud? Oh, well, you sound really tough. I bet you can't get close enough to throw a punch. You sounded pretty pissed off, buddy. Suck a dick. That'll keep you nice and sanitary. That's just some fucking random NPC fucking starting shit for no fucking reason. Alright, so this is the Juravinski Hospital. Juravinski? I don't know. It's like the fucking weirdest kind of Jewy name I've ever heard. Juravinski Hospital. Either way, I have a legit credible reason for being here. First things first, I'm going in to use the washroom because I gotta take a piss, and on my way into town today for my excuse, because we got 3 excuses that we're allowed to be out anymore, is out for exercise. Anyways, I think this walk counts as exercise, so so far everything looks pretty dead. Not much people here or anything like that. They got signs everywhere. But what I was getting at is I had to stop at a gas station to try and use the restroom because they got all the fast food places and any place that's got a washroom closed up. Well, they refused me service to use even with putting gas in my car, I wasn't allowed to. Usually all these wheelchairs are cleared out in this hospital. Hey, how's it going? First of all, I got to go to the washroom. Second of all, I got to see a doctor.
So unfortunately, the washrooms are closed to the public, and if you are going to the emergency room, it has to be through the emergency room entrance.
Well, okay. Well, I guess I'll go through the emergency that way. But so you're telling me I can't even use the washroom?
You're right.
So when people start
so when see the doctor, maybe you'll be able to, but I can't until after you've come in.
Because they've got everything closed for what's it called? Public washroom, gas stations, everything.
Yeah, I know.
Like, honestly, if I don't get access to the washroom, I'm going to end up having to piss somewhere on the outside of the hospital, which is a hell of a lot less sanitary.
No, I'm sorry. Just I've been instructed I'm not able to let anyone in to use the washroom. But if you do go to the emergency room and once you see a doctor, then probably will let you use the washroom there.
Yeah, well, I will inform you now, and this you guys can take this on as the responsibility as the hospital. If I get to the point where I got to piss, I'm just going to piss wherever I got to. Inside the hospital, anywhere. Like, you know what I mean? When you gotta go, you gotta go. I'm not pissing myself. That's even more unsanitary and unhealthy.
Unfortunately, I'm sorry. So, yeah, if you head to the emergency room, hopefully it won't be too long of a wait and they'll be able to get you in there. It's just out to the left on the sidewalk, okay?
Okay. Now, what does the requirements meet to even get past this gate? Are you even letting anybody by here?
I can't let anyone come in here who doesn't have an appointment.
That doesn't have an appointment. And what kind of appointments would you need?
It's dependent on specific.
Well, you're the one working the desk. You should know, right?
It just depends. I'm not usually working at this hospital, so I don't know. I'm just here doing the screening. So.
Yeah. Okay. So what gets you past the screening?
You have an appointment scheduled with a doctor.
Okay. What kind of appointments? Because there's lots of different types of appointments.
Yeah, just X-ray or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. So, in other words, you guys aren't the public no longer has access to the hospital, is what you're telling me.
Only the emergency.
Okay, but so that's literally like what you guys are also being told to do, to not let any of the public into the hospital. Our taxes pay for the hospital. subsidized healthcare, and you guys won't even let people pass the door.
Yeah, I'm
You
sorry.
won't even let me use the washroom. You're gonna force me to piss and shit outside like a dog.
I'm not sure what I'm supposed to tell you. I'm sorry, I don't know. So.
Well, you're supposed to come up with something reasonable, or at least pass this along to your higher ups and
Yeah,
letting
I
them know
definitely
how
can pass it along. I just
absolutely unreasonable it is that you're gonna make people pissing and shitting on the streets.
Yeah, I can pass it along.
Because that's a hell of a lot less sanitary.
I agree. Yeah.
Not many people know this, but that was the cause of the plague, poor sanitary conditions. Well, if everyone's got to start pissing and shitting on the streets, well, they got to do stuff. What's really going to cause disease? So, complete ghost town. There's like nobody there. They won't even let people in through the public. Luckily, I have a legit enough reason to actually be here. So now we're going to go over to the emergency section, and we'll see how empty that is with nobody. Mind you, I haven't seen anybody with masks yet. The ladies in there weren't wearing gloves. They have these like toll booth things set up, like straight up looks like something you'd see like when they do like what people would always expect that they would do for like martial law and stuff. So they're not letting visitors in whatsoever. I'm assuming maybe that would change if somebody was on their deathbed, but who knows? Like, I couldn't get more than 4 or 5 feet in the door without yeah, so I guess some of their stuff has changed, because last time I came around the hospital, mind you, I wasn't carrying a phone in hand and recording stuff, but last time I came to a hospital, but it was out in Toronto, Ontario, they had no problems letting me through the front area to go to the washroom when I requested to go to the washroom. Although I did set up, like, my father owns a party rental company, which is where those giant Corona tent stuff, that's all getting set up. In all fairness, we did set up a Corona tent outside the Toronto hospital. I do have pictures of that. I'll probably include it in the video somewhere, but we'll see. Anyways, I'm getting pretty close over here to the emergency section. Just gonna stop this for 1 second and restart it, make sure I don't run out of space. So there was one other thing I forgot to mention as well, which may buy me more time to get through the hospital, is I either have a floating bone chip that I broke off the bottom of my foot. It's either a floating bone chip or maybe a fracture. I don't know, I never got an x-ray, but it is one hell of a bitch, and it definitely hurts all the time when I walk. One wrong step and I'm in pain for weeks. So maybe I'll try and get that looked at too, but the main goal is to at least get my EpiPen prescription that I need. Otherwise, all the bees are coming back and I could be just as well dead. A lot sooner before than any of these. Oh yeah, no problem. Oh, hold on, I don't think we're allowed to get close enough to hand smokes to each other. Fucking social distancing bullshit. Yeah, I got a lighter. You're gonna have to keep that though. I don't think I'm allowed to bring it and take it back.
I haven't got it.
No, don't worry, I don't care. It's a hoax anyways, my friend.
I agree.
Yeah. I had to come to the hospital, so I'm just recording pretty much everything while I come here. Yep, no problem. I know the lighter works, that's it for sure. But yeah, I gotta get new EpiPens. I'm deathly allergic to bees, all mine are expired. Family doctors won't take on anybody.
Oh, I got yours.
Oh no, I was talking to you. I'm recording to make sure that they don't pull no, because I need to get my EpiPens. Otherwise, one bee sting and I'm dead within 10. Yeah, no problem, buddy. What's up with you, if you don't mind me asking?
I haven't smoked for 2 weeks.
Would they have you checked into the hospital?
No. I have diabetic foot wounds,
Oh, okay.
and they're infected. Well, I might lose my toe.
Oh, that's not fun, dude.
Tell them that.
Did they even give you a hard time getting into the hospital to get any sort
No,
of
I came in by
care?
ambulance. I'm having a hard time getting home.
Oh, okay, all right.
She's like, oh, well, I'll set you up with our social worker. I'll talk to your ODSP worker. Fuck that shit. I want to go home.
Right?
So I phone my trustee. I go, yeah, you can bring me some money. Okay, good. I'm at the hospital. Take me home.
Yeah. Yeah, it is kind of redundant at this point, you know what I
This
mean?
whole COVID shit. I was just throwing out a muffin and a drink.
Yeah.
Just gonna go throw it out. Where are you going?
Uh,
To throw out my garbage?
well, luckily my medical file says I'm actually deathly allergic to bees.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they probably wouldn't even let me in the place. I also got a floating bone chip in my foot. Who knows if they'll even take a look at that, but no matter what,
Sounds like fun.
family doctors won't see me because of this stupid corona hoax.
Yeah.
So I can't go see a family doctor for my script. I have to come here to get my script. Otherwise, I'm screwed. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
All right, buddy. Have a good one, eh?
Hey,
How's it going, buddy?
not bad yourself?
Could be better. I'm here to get a script for EpiPens. I'm deathly allergic to bees, and all my EpiPens are expired, and I don't have a family doctor, and they will not allow me to become a new patient for any family doctor. So I have to come here to get a script from a doctor.
Okay, so I just wanted to ask you a few questions. Do you have any fever?
Nope.
Any shortness of breath?
Nope.
Running nose?
Nope.
Sore throat?
Nope.
Loss of smell?
Nope.
Any
Loss of
headache?
smell.
Yeah.
That's a new one. I haven't heard that one yet. Okay, go on.
Any headache?
Nope.
Muscle ache?
Nope.
Nausea?
Nope.
Diarrhea?
Nope.
Cough?
Nope.
In the past 14 days, have you traveled outside of Canada?
Nope.
Have you had any close contact with someone who has traveled who is sick?
Nope. Because it doesn't exist, but go on.
Have you had close contact with a probable or confirmed COVID patient?
Nope.
You can go ahead with your right answer.
You still have, did I hear you say you still have an EpiPen?
No, I have not. Like mine are expired. It's required to throw them out. They're no longer in my possession.
Yeah.
I need EpiPens. Otherwise, yeah.
I'm trying to save you like several hours of time, but if you're already throwing them out, it's no good. So what happened was they've actually charged those companies because they're like, oh no, they're good for like a year, that's it. Turns
Yeah.
out they're good for like 18 years.
I know that, but it says buy a thing. Like if I use one of those and die, I can't sue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they're expired.
Just wait a sec, and I'll triage you at this window, okay?
Yeah.
Have a seat there.
Yep. Oh, look at that. So this is the emergency room, completely empty. And they got those stupid tape things up that you see everywhere, saying that you're supposed to be away from each other. Right, we'll see how long it goes. They have this like gigantic ass security guard standing out there, and he gave me like the meanest look ever, like he was ready to tackle me as soon as I walked up. Pretty funny. They even had like an extra hand. I'm sure there hasn't even been an attempted security breach even yet to even warrant having such.
So will your pharmacy not let you call in the refills?
There is no refills on the script that they gave me. That's why I have to come in to get a script. And as far as I'm concerned, to me, getting stung by a bee is a lot more scarier than coming in to get in contact with a virus that I haven't been able to find one person with it. Have you guys been getting swamped here?
Yep, we've got several people who are positive.
How many?
I can't give that out, but
Well, it's not private patient information, to be honest.
10.
It's more than 10, you say. At this hospital specifically, or are you going by what they said on the news?
Myself. I have
Oh,
about
no,
10
that's-
people who have been positive.
So technically, you're a hazard being here right now that you've come in contact with 10 people then.
Yeah, that's why I'm wearing that. I wear this when I swab them. Right?
No, it's just funny because germs don't pass through aerosol, like they don't pass through airways. But I also have something wrong with my foot. I got I don't know if it's a floating bone chip or if it's a fracture in my foot. It's been bugging me forever, and every time I step the wrong way, I'm in pain for weeks at the time. Is there any way to get that checked out since I've had to come for a hospital visit anyways?
You can mention it to the doc. I don't know if he will or not. In general, we're trying to get people out of here as fast as we can who don't need to be here.
What if I signed a waiver or something?
No,
What?
it's not no.
No, it's not even that, eh?
No.
Just you want people being scared and to stay away from the hospitals, right?
Dude, I'm not looking to have an argument or anything.
I'm not having an argument. I'm asking questions.
No.
Are you not qualified to answer them?
You're stating facts that aren't facts, right? You're stating that...
Oh, germ theory? Yes, I've done the study into it. Germs are not passed through airways.
Okay, so what if those hundreds of...
Bacteria infections are very real. Fungal infections, very real. Not passing germs through air. That's a falsehood.
So how did all those people get it?
What are the symptoms? Everything that a flu entails. Most of them likely have the flu. And you guys are telling them that they have corona. It's scaring the living crap out of them.
And the reason...
Does that not logically fit? All the same symptoms for what you're saying corona is has the same as the normal.
8 times what the normal flu deaths would be?
That's an absolute lie, because over 1 million people die, about 1 million people die worldwide from the household flu every year. There's like what? I don't know, I think the last time I looked it was like 1,500? Or did they bump it up to like 2,000 dead people? Because I've also seen the number that there's 69,000 recoveries.
People a day are dying in Italy.
Are you there? Have you been there? Can you, do you know anybody from there?
I'm not going to do this, dude. I'm not sure.
Mainstream media just tells you and you just believe it, right?
Yeah, it's all just...
I've also heard from quite a few different nurses that they're actually starting to lay nurses off in certain parts of Canada. Have you guys been experiencing layoffs here? You've been warned about, like, you might have to pick up janitorial duty to keep your, to not be laid off?
Only if we test positive for COVID.
So people are being laid off?
No, only if we test positive for COVID will we have to change to janitorial, to behind the scenes stuff, but we don't expose people to a known positive.
The other problem is that I hear you guys aren't even actually really testing it. Like, you guys aren't even testing at the hospitals to see the results. You got to ship them away somewhere. Most people are being given like a diagnosis over the phone.
Yeah, we're taking the same joke.
False, like, well, I guess they'd be considered false positives because there hasn't actually been testing done on them.
No, there has been testing on it. If we test you, we swab you, we send the swab.
Do you guys do testing here?
We send the swab to St. Joseph's Hospital downtown. There is one testing center for all of Hamilton where they...
And they all go to St. Joe's?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. No, I don't want
And as far as the germ theory goes, there's no.
No.
Oh, you're not even willing to conversate no more, eh?
No. I'm not willing to converse with someone who isn't willing to listen. That's it, right?
I've listened. You just repeated a bunch of stuff. I'm surprised you haven't said the calm before the storm yet.
Why would I?
I don't know. Almost every doctor is saying it at every hospital that's been shown to be completely empty.
You take any other medications at home?
Nope.
The only allergy is to bees?
Yep.
Is it all Hymenoptera or just wasps? Do you know which ones it is?
They wouldn't even test me. They refused to do any testing to find out what I'm allergic to, because I didn't get to see the actual bee that stung me, that sent me into epileptic shock or anaphylactic shock.
You take the blood pressure cuff off. Allergic to anything else that you know of?
Nothing that I'm aware of. I also wasn't allergic to bees until the first time that happened to me. And where am I going to find a pharmacy that's open that's actually going to serve me?
Shoppers open 24 hours, 7 days a week.
They're still open? All right. So I've been to tons of places and they're all closed. I had to go piss on the street like an animal because the gas stations wouldn't even let me in to use the washroom. Speaking of which, I actually do need to go as well. There's one over there. Okay.
Okay, you can go there, and then when you're done, go up to the window, and they'll finish registering you.
Up to the window, like over to the left?
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know. I think I've been here for like maybe like 10 minutes or so, and to see hospitals that's empty in Hamilton, especially being growing up out of Hamilton, is absolutely unheard of. It's crazy. There'd be like thousands of people, or at least probably close to 1,000 people every day that would be going through the emergency room of any given hospital in Hamilton. And as you can see around here, this is the waiting room for the emergency. Absolutely nobody waiting because I got to go see a doctor. I will get into the next area where this is like where they do all the triaging and stuff. Sir, you cannot tell me to do that. It's an infringement. It's a public area. So yeah, the doctor just said straight up, pretty much, I wouldn't say he yelled, but he aggressively told me that I'm not even allowed to record here. But little does he know that I could easily be on FaceTiming or calling somebody. So this type of treatment to somebody who needs something, otherwise he will literally die from one bee sting a hell of a lot faster than somebody could die from a virus of any type. Unless, I don't know, I've heard people dying of pneumonia after hypothermia really quick, but other than that, not too sure about that. So let's see what happens. I don't know. I know they can't kick me out, otherwise they're pretty much condemning me to a death sentence. So they can say whatever they want, but it doesn't really make it fact. But, so, I don't have unlimited space, so I'll record in another few minutes, depending on how long they have me sitting here. It is currently 2:36 p.m. I don't know if I'm Central or Eastern, Southern Ontario. You can just look up Ontario. It's most of the time that's in the States anyways. So I'll kick it back on and I'll let you know what time it is at that point, and or if I see any changes or 100 people come in all of a sudden. But I haven't even heard one ambulance, nothing. I haven't seen them wheel anybody down the hallway, like because like people like would come in from a car crash or something, would skip right past this whole area, right? Somebody who's like got a broken leg or something like that, you know what I mean? So, but the door, you can still see where they roll people through. But so I'll be back in a bit. Trying to tell me that this is this governmentally owned public property paid for by my taxes is private property.
This is private. It's owned by corporation.
It is. I'm also more than welcome.
Is not allowed. Okay.
Sir, I do not see it. Just like smoking, with a warning. With a warning.
Right now, I'm verbally telling you.
I can tell you right now, you can't kick me.
You're getting kicked out right now.
Sir, I need an EpiPen. If you kick me out of here, you're condemning me to a death. The rights to physically touch me.
Under arrest, we can do that.
Sir, you're not kicking me out of this hospital without getting my prescription for my EpiPen.
Leave at this time because it's not life-threatening at this moment.
It is. If I get stung by a bee, I die before. I have less than 20 minutes to get to a hospital unless I have an EpiPen.
Sir, you're more than welcome to stay if you stop video recording. Otherwise, you have to.
Okay.
Not allowed being here at this.
This is on top of the escarpment, Hamilton, Ontario. Literally pretty much right behind the Juravinski Hospital. I have to look at the video and figure out how to actually pronounce that fucking hospital's name. It's so stupid. I think I'm gonna call it quits for today, especially because they took a picture of me and sent it around. I'm assuming sent it to all the other security guards at all the other hospitals in Hamilton. Just keep in mind if I die, make sure. And there's like, that's not the parking for the hospital. The parking for the hospital is actually that brown building over there, which is actually virtually empty. I don't know if you can really see it. There is some cars in there, but see the problem here, well, it's not a problem, but the other thing that a lot of people don't realize, this hospital has its own separate cancer clinic. So this building right here, that's the cancer clinic. So like everybody who's got cancer or dying of cancer or getting cancer treatments, this is like the main spot to get it done in Hamilton, and they come right to here. And there's a front part of the thing, but you see that like green kind of pukey oblong shaped fucking thing, like building over there, that's that's actually the back of the hospital over there. Sorry, big ass truck went by. But that's actually the back of the hospital over here. Where if you like walk past the emergency section and came right out the back, you'd come right out, all that green shit right there, that's a part of their Juravinski Hospital. I think that's how it's pronounced, I'm not too sure. But here's, it's actually a pretty nice view here, right? So they also did say that they called the cops. I'm sure you probably heard that on the video. It was probably just a stupid fucking bluff. But they didn't actually use physical force, but they definitely did not follow any of the rules of social distancing whatsoever. The security guards that tried to escort me off for simply being at the hospital to get a prescription for my EpiPens, because the summer's here and I need EpiPens, otherwise, again, yeah, fucking die. So it's a little closer here. We got the hospital. They said that I was technically trespassing, but because an officer of the law didn't actually tell me to leave the property, they're not officers, they don't have the same abilities, I can still enter onto the property. Odds are they'll just call the cops though, and then try and slap me with a restraining order or a trespassing order. Well, they'll have to try and they'll have to have documented proof of me leaving by cops, and then the next time I came, then they could do trespassing. Coming from Hamilton, ghetto ass city, I've even had schools try and put restraining orders on me, and I know how to fight all that stuff. So this is actually at the back of the hospital right here. You see they got a little bench area and stuff that like nobody's at, that usually that place is just popping because it's pretty close to like lunchtime. But you got some of these trucks here. I guess these are the dead body cooler trucks they're rolling shit on. Rollstons, you know what I mean? Like, so definitely their cooler stuff is a bullshit lie. They even got a cancer clinic right there with people dying all the time. You'd think they would have something else there. I don't know if you can see this. I guess they failed to pull the truck up close enough to seal it off. I obviously don't think this is one of their cooler trucks. I don't know if you can see it on the video, but it's just a bare inside structure of the truck. It's obviously just supplies and stuff like that. So yeah, this is again the back of their hospital. Again, usually all these benches have people on them sitting, whether it's people that are visiting, people that have finally been allowed to go out for a smoke, or even people that are stuck staying at the hospital for days at a time. Shipping and authorized, received, and traffic only. See, they got a public bench thing here, so this is technically public property. Just peer later. Oh look, there's one of those stupid cooler dead body trucks that are supposed to be here. In other words, just something that brings what's that called, supplies, like skids and skids of supplies and gauze and crap like that. And as you can see, as some of the greats like Brian and all the other people, the truck has no cooler section at all, so it's not like that. It's just shipments that they bring in. And it's just pretty standard to be shipping stuff around in transport trucks. Last time I checked, about 90% of all the world's supplies come on that, and then the other 10% by boat, next to nothing by airplane, believe it or not. It's like a micro fraction of all the supplies that get delivered around the world. Everything's shipped by ships and then trucked pretty much. Unless there's like a speed order for something, is the only time you'll actually see something get shipped through the thing. Looks like they got a bunch of construction going on in the back here. For what? That's a whole nother question. Yes, I don't come here often enough to know if this is something they started setting up within the last week or two or month or two. Not sure at all, but I can see in through the hospital the section that they wouldn't let me into when I originally walked in. Luckily, I still got to use the washroom, so they can say fuck it. But I can see in there, and it's just a hollow shell. Like, usually those places are hustling and bustling. But yeah, so they had 3 security guards at the they had 3 security guards guarding the entrance, like watchdogs. Obviously super brainwashed. The one really tall bald dude, I was like super angry. you could tell he wanted to lay hands, you know what I mean? And to be honest, I would have wrecked his bitch ass. But, you know, I've kept a clean record, and I don't really threaten people on a regular basis. I try and just get by life, be a normal law-abiding citizen. Otherwise, you can't end up with firearm licenses or hunting licenses or nothing like that. But they pretty much tried to treat me like scum of the earth just for recording. That's their that's their entrance for all the emergency. This is where there's not even ambulances here. They're like this little spot right there with the yellow lines. That's where ambulance would usually be parked, waiting to go out. There's not even an ambulance at this hospital. I haven't even seen one. I've been here for, I don't know, the totality of at least an hour. No ambulance, no sirens, no nothing. Just another fakeness. There's some good old people actually still getting out, living their lives, being free for now, because these losers want to try and take everything from us for no reason. But this is actually this is the access to come up the mountain, to like come around, and then that's the first hospital once you get up the mountain. But I think I'll stop recording for now. Maybe I'll add a little something else extra on after I'm done. Getting home. So, but I'm sure everybody knows there's stupid security guard bullshit stuff that they try and do in places, trying to say that you cannot video record, which is infringing against our rights. Definitely. Anybody who knows anything will know that. Obviously, those guys are fucking retarded and don't know nothing. So, that'll be it, really. Other than that, I don't want to stick around here for too much longer than that, because I don't like dealing with the cops. Cops will run my name though, and they'd fuck right off, because they know they'll see all my licenses that I have through them. You know what I mean? They know that I'm not a concern. I'm not some criminal, and I have no violent history on the record books whatsoever. So, you know what I mean? They'd more or less try and tell me to leave, and as long as I'm on public property, a cop wouldn't get me to leave. But it's just not that worth that hassle, because I want to check out another hospital. Don't feel like I'll have any luck today. Might have to wait a day or two for the next one, or maybe go to a different city. Cities are pretty close to here. From here I can get to Stony Creek, or I can get to Stony Creek, I can get to Burlington, Ancaster, everything, all within virtually, from here 10 minutes drive for each city. I could get into Burlington and Stony Creek, Ancaster, stuff like that. I can go there very easily too. It'll only take me like a half an hour drive. Gas is cheap, so why not get out and check out the hospitals? Like, if you're not doing it, to be honest, if you have anything, just the smallest thing, like I needed my new EpiPens for the summer season. Like, I legitly need that. If you guys have anything that you actually need done, whether it be surgeries, whether it be X-rays, because they did say that they're still doing X-rays. Whether it be anything like that, just anything that'll get you access to the hospital, and you can prove for yourself that there is nothing wrong with these hospitals. There is no viruses. Everything's going all right. You know what I mean? Besides, the security guards are highly aggressive, and so are the nurses. They don't want to be asked any questions. They just want you to shut up, sit there, and believe whatever they tell you, which, last time I checked, isn't a smart thing to do, because that's how a lot of people die if you check through history, and all sorts of great tragedies. And they all start with lies, big ones too, not something small. They start with really big lies. So the thing is like, for me, they just sent me away to technically knowing that this could be a death sentence. They were happy to give me a death sentence, you know what I mean? But again, they did only send me out because they said I was recording, but that's still really fishy. They insisted on sending me out as soon as they realized I was recording, but like, I recorded my whole way in there. I just held my phone in my hand, just kept it at my hip, didn't really actually point it at anybody directly, although I did do it to the one broad. But because a lot of these people, like the nurses, stuff like that, the security guards, not a fan of those. They know, they're sitting there all day, so they can count how many people come in through that fucking door. Nobody. So I have a problem with them. The nurses, they're being tricked just like everybody else. You know, I wish they weren't being tricked like that, but that's, you know what I mean? When you go to school as an adult for like 4 or 5 years, you know, that's a lot of time to brainwash somebody and implant ideas in there that can't be removed very easily. For example, trying to cut out a piece of cancer, not exactly the easiest thing to do. So these people have like cancerous tumors of information stuck inside their head, and they're having a very hard time trying to cleanse it. Even when somebody comes in contact and can ask a few questions that should have them asking questions that the nurses and doctors should be asking. I shouldn't be up to a bearded fucking country boy that shoots guns, drinks beers, and drives cars and fucking, you know what I mean? I shouldn't be the one out here asking questions. The nurses should. The news ain't anywhere to be seen, you know what I mean? So I don't know how they can justify what they're doing. I just know it's very unethical what they're doing. And you know, like, see here, people are gonna hate this. Okay, so people are gonna hate this part here. And you see this? This is for the cancer clinic, all right? Still lots of cancer, all right? And this is a whole separate building because it's the specialty place. People get sent from cities all around that have cancer and need treatments to this part of this hospital right here, right in front of me. It's specifically the cancer patient ward. They pretty much have their own like cancer hospital, all right? So that's one thing you got to understand about this parking lot. Luckily, I do know enough about this hospital and people from this area that I can know that I'm not going to show up and look at this and be like, see, oh, they said the hospital was busy, right? Somebody could easily believe that, seeing that, but I went into the hospital and there's absolutely nobody, like absolutely zero in the emergency section. There was a couple people walking around behind the box, the security box. Hold on. Quite a few people behind the first security box, which is supposed to be the public entrance to the hospital. There was lots of, not lots, but I'd say 3 people walking by, but they all had those like lanyards on their neck. So they were like hospital staff, that's for sure. They weren't just people that got past them. So yeah, they won't let you into the public areas. They would rather have you piss and shit on the street before the hospital will give you access to a washroom. The hospital, you know what I mean? And it's obviously very unsanitary and actually highly illegal to piss or shit in public. Here in my part of Canada, I know this to be fact, if you get caught by a cop pissing in public or caught by a cop shitting in public, they put you on the sex offender list with all the rapists and molesters, and you're stuck on that list for the rest of your life. There's no fighting it whatsoever. It's instant, like the day they catch you. If the cop's feeling in a bad mood, you're getting sexual offender, indecent exposure, or yeah, I'm pretty sure it's indecent exposure. And that'll put you on the sex offender list for the rest of your life. And it won't even specify. It's not like they're like, okay, they have it color coded, like, okay, the red ones are the rapists. The blue ones are the child molesters. The orange, or orange 33. Green is for people people that got caught pissing in public or something. It's not like they have that separated for people. So as I said, there's the hospital, just back of my shitty ass car now. Yeah, fucking thing's a fucking beaut. Look at this, fucking runs like a dream. It's a piece of shit. Anyways, so I'll talk to you guys hopefully at a later date. But so that's what the hospitals are up to, guys. Like I said, if you got anything, any little thing wrong with you, something that'll get you past the doors, go look at it for yourself. It's absolutely mind-blowing, to the point where even where I was filming, they wouldn't even let me into the next section because I was recording, because they don't want videotape of the next part empty as well. So I'll look up the exact address of this hospital here in Hamilton. I know Juravinski, you know what I mean? Who knows if people are trying to research it from other parts of the world. I'll actually find the address out there and the street name. Well, the street name's Concession, but I don't know what the not too sure what the what's that called, what the actual address is. Maybe it'll be in my video at the beginning when I kind of showed the sign. But it's getting kind of hot in here. My fucking car's been baking in the sun because it's a fucking beautiful day out. I gotta get some WD-60 going. Windows down, doing 60. All right, guys, have a good one, and hopefully get out there, man. Like, don't let the government crush your soul for nothing. You know what I mean? It'd be different if there was actually a sickness out there getting people sick, or like something that was actually doing stuff to people, but clearly you can see that that's not the case. And there's a nurse that was within, I would say, 7 feet distance of me. Actually, probably closer, to be honest. Like the desk is less than 4 feet. So like he was wearing a face shield, mask. He was, but he personally said it was because he was exposed to people with corona. They even have people that they knowingly have had contact with people with corona, and if it's as dangerous as they say, and not a hoax like I believe, not believe, because if you believe something, technically you don't know, but I know it's fake. Yeah, they'll fucking pretty much screw you over on that, you know what I mean? So I guess I'm off to die. Hopefully one of you guys knows how to build a coffin, and you guys can fucking make sure they don't embalm my body. Fucking sick fucks. Anyways, have a great day, and like I said, get out there, check your hospitals. There's nothing going on, I promise you that, and there's nothing to be afraid of. If you got a sick mom, sick dad, grandma, grandpa, get them to the hospital where they should be at. Don't be letting them sit at home and die. And if you do something like that, well, they're actually genuinely sick. You know what I mean? One thing people got to watch out for is pneumonia. That's a real thing, liquid in your lungs. Is you got to watch out for pneumonia. A lot of old people end up with pneumonia for almost next to no reason. I've heard a lot, I don't know for sure about this, but I've heard that you get pneumonia because the flap that controls your breathing, as well as where your saliva and liquids swallow down, that gets worn away over years, so it accidentally lets liquid into your lungs. But the people with pneumonia, stuff like that, it's the same symptoms as they're saying as corona, and they're telling them to stay at home for 2 weeks. Never in a million years before this year would they ever tell somebody that's suffering from pneumonia symptoms to stay at home for 2 weeks. That is literally a death sentence for people with pneumonia. You'll slowly get sicker, hard to breathe, and you'll fucking die. And because of your hard breathing and the fluid in your lungs, you will suffer, you will also suffer fevers and all sorts of, all the other stuff that they're saying are corona. So at this point, who knows how many people with pneumonia have been sent home to sit there and absolutely do nothing. You know what I mean? And they're most likely going to die or have existing health conditions with their lungs for the rest of their life because they stayed at home for 2 weeks with pneumonia. Never mind that, there is a couple other things out there that obviously you need to get. But if your parents are sick, your grandmas are sick, your kids are sick, get them to the hospital. Get them medical care like they fucking need. And I guess I would say record it or take pictures or something. It seems that they didn't even really take a chance to really even ask me if I was on a phone call or something, because I could have easily been FaceTiming or Facebook calling somebody, video Facebook, or like Skyping with somebody. You know what I mean? They didn't even bother. They immediately assumed that I was recording. I didn't lie because I don't want the stupid bullshit about I can refuse to answer all day long, you know what I mean? But I can't give them definitive answers saying that I'm not recording if I am recording, because, well, I guess I can't do that to a cop because they classify that as obstruction to justice, which it's not exactly a small charge. It can be, but they can make it bad on you. So I would suggest, if you are going to go record or take pictures, to not lie to them. To be honest, they did say I could stay if I stopped recording, but that wasn't going to happen. I wasn't going to spend hours in that hospital not recording when it is time to be out there recording and journalistically reporting that there is absolutely nothing going on. So that's one hospital. We'll see more soon, hopefully, unless they put me on a ban flag list for all hospitals, but if they try and do that, I definitely have a lawsuit on my hand for malpractice, because I'm not allowed to see a family doctor and I can't get one. They won't see me. Walk-in clinics aren't taking people. So, you know what I mean? My only option is to go through the hospital. So I will have to visit the hospital. I'm not going to risk my life and my soul, because evil satanic fucks have faked a big gigantic hoax on us. I need this type of, it's not really medication, but I need that drug essentially. Otherwise I'm at a high risk of dying just on a regular summer day sitting in my backyard. You know what I mean? And it's not like they can be like, oh, well, stay in your house. You should have no bees should be around you. You should be in quarantine or whatever. It doesn't work like that. Bees get into people's houses all the time. I averagely find about 5 bees in my house a year. So I don't want to hear any of that BS in the comments or anything like that. So anybody else, also feel free to clip this up, chop it down, edit it, because I think after all this stuff is said and done, I think it's going to be roughly like 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. It's in a couple of different patches, so we'll see when I start putting the video together. Anyways, have a great day and enjoy the beautiful day out. Get out there, guys. So, I'm on my drive home at this point. Very shitty thing happened. I realized, and yes, before anybody asks or thinks, I am using a hands-free holder right now. I had a friend press the play button or record button, then put it in the spot that allows this view. So just because our distracted driving fines are super ridiculously crazy. As you can see, my eyes are on the road. Anyways, what I realized about the videos that I just recorded, when the security guards started kicking me out, I had got them to say their names and badge numbers, but the way I was holding my phone up against my body, so they couldn't see the screen to say, see there, you're recording, and start trying to drag me out. I had my screen kind of covered on my leg. I guess it hit the stop recording. So I missed one of the best parts, where they escorted me out to the sidewalk. While they were escorting me out to the sidewalk, they were like within 2 feet of me. 3 people surrounded, the 3 security guards had me surrounded. And just to be kind of a dick towards them, because they're literally sending me away with a death sentence, I started to tell them, hey, you mind doing some social distancing? How about 6 feet between me? And they refused to do that, and they kept right next to me. And I'm like, sir, you need to back away from me. By your laws, and for the reason that you're kicking me out of the hospital, you need to keep 6 feet away from me. And I demanded that they move away from me, which they never complied to. The 3 of them all broke the social distancing rule. Not only that, they were all within shoulder length of each other. They're all within touching distance of each other while they were in touching distance of me, which, as far as I see, is if this virus does exist, which it doesn't, it's a hoax. But if it does exist, I see that as being highly unethical, that there's security staff that's supposed to be making sure people follow social distancing, as well as apparently not being able to record in your hospitals, which is kind of weird because the hospital has cameras on me recording me, but I'm not allowed to record the area for myself. That doesn't really make sense. They also insisted, saying that the hospital was private property, which and I informed them that that is not truth, that our taxes pay for our hospitals, and that we as the people, just the same as we pay our cops, we pay the hospitals, we pay their bills. We keep the lights on at the hospital with our taxes. That's how it works here in Canada. We don't have privatized healthcare like in America, where they would have complete grounds to do something like that, but not here in Canada. Anyways, they were like highly aggressive with me. And they did full out threaten to arrest me. They said they called the cops. They also said that they had the right to arrest me, which they don't. Security guards in Canada, somebody died from getting chased to death at probably going back 4 years ago or maybe 5 years ago. But there's a shoplifter at Canadian Tire, and the shoplifter was kind of like a scraggly kind of homeless looking dude, luckily enough, he had family. But security guards, back then they were allowed to tackle you and grab you and detain you until they could get a cop there for shoplifting or reasons of violence. But we have a bunch of laws in place now where security guards aren't even allowed to physically touch you whatsoever, unless you literally assault them first. So anyways, what I'm getting at is the security guard chased this guy off the Canadian Tire property and chased him through about almost like 7 or 8 backyards while there was a heat storm out, heat warning out, and the guy actually ran till he dropped dead. He dropped dead in the chase trying to run away with, like, I think they said it was like $40 worth of merchandise. They chased the guy to death. So we have a bunch of laws in place, especially in Southern Ontario, that security guards aren't actually allowed to touch you or do anything. They have to call a cop and just try and get you to comply without using any physical force. Otherwise, they lose their job and can be fired for physically harming, because then you can sue. Not the area that they're securing. Unless it does happen on their property, then you can sue the security company as well as the security guard, area that they're securing. So yeah, they threatened to arrest me if I refused to leave because I was there for my EpiPens, and I informed them that if I don't get these EpiPens, I could easily die, that they're giving me a death sentence, and they still refused and said that if you continue recording, you're going to be kicked out. And then so I wouldn't tell them yes or okay and agree to it, because then that would make me because then that would be a lie on tape, and then could be used for, like I mentioned earlier, as obstruction to justice. So I just kind of I kind of worded it as like, well, if I am recording, it's well within my rights to do. Never really said yes, never really said no. But yeah, so they treated me very hostile, escorted me off the property, told me that I was now trespassing on private property, which is not true. Hospitals are public property in Canada. And they, they said something else. They said a whole bunch of lies. It was pretty ridiculous. I can't remember. Yeah, it was pretty brutal though, the way the security guards treated me. And they also said on the video that I'm not too sure if this got caught on the video or not. They said they were informed by the nurse that it is 100% okay to send me home and out of the hospital if I don't stop recording. So you should have seen the looks on their faces. And I didn't know my phone stopped recording, but I started, while they were escorting me out of the hospital, I was actually videotaping them. Well, I thought I was videotaping them while they weren't keeping their social distancing from me, and while they were forcefully prepared to use force to remove me from the hospital, which is illegal in Canada because they're security guards. If it was a police officer, they're allowed to. So yeah, I'm so disappointed, because it was probably there's probably about, I would say, about 3 or 4 minutes worth of debating, recorded debating on top of the 50. I think it was like a minute clip before I guess I accidentally stopped recording. It's probably about a 4-minute fucking period of me sitting there refusing to go until they started threatening to arrest me, and I told them go ahead and call the cops, and then they just repeatedly kept saying, we'll arrest you if that's what you want, and that was by the really tall, angry, bald dude. Pretty funny. And regardless, I didn't actually omit to recording, although I wasn't admitting to recording. So they didn't have grounds, even if it was, but I could guarantee you there was no signs anywhere saying no video recording devices, blah blah blah, because they're not allowed to put up signs like that. Yeah, you're allowed to document anything that you deem worthy or detrimental to legal safety, as well as health safety, as well as just personal general safety, like safety from other people, or corruption, government corruption, or politics, or anything like that. Because they're all public representatives, public servants, nurses, doctors, security guards, cops, they're all public servants, as most people know, not like trying to act like a know-it-all. But that's especially how they work here in Canada, even our healthcare system, because it's not privatized healthcare. It's owned by the government. The government used our tax dollars to build supply, and buy everything that the hospital has. They don't own the land. It's same as like a public park for hospitals. It's public property. It's our property as a whole, as Canadian citizens, tax-paying Canadian citizens. Yeah, I just wanted to make this video on my way home so I don't forget before I calm down like too much. But these fucking assholes were like all over me. Like, they straight up threatened to arrest me while I'm there with a legit reason. I had already checked my medical files before this situation. I had already been triaged. So they had already seen that what I came in there to the hospital for was 100% legit life worry. Like, I needed to get this taken care of, otherwise my life is at risk, which they sent me home. And like I said, I live in the boonies, so like, if I get stung, I'm dead, right? So, you know, I still ain't that afraid of it, but just I'd rather have my EpiPen and be able to live than die, right? So that's what's going on with that. Security guards were super aggressive, and it was the nurse that ratted me out. That was caught on the video, I know that for sure. But they didn't know that I recorded all the other stuff at the beginning or from the other door. So luckily I still do have enough, but I just really wish I had the way the security guards treated me and how they were breaking the social distancing to try to scare me off the property, which I guess technically they did succeed at, but it's because I got too much shit to lose in this world to give it up for that. But I still had to find out what's going on because they're already taking things from me in my world. You know, I was supposed to start a job today. I got to work. It's supposed to be a salary full-time job. Got to work today to find out that because it's an outdoor event rental company, everything besides the hospital's ordering tents for their fake Corona tents, which I noticed that hospital has no Corona tent entrance whatsoever there. I'll try and find one in Hamilton that does, to at least show it and how empty that is without actually going in, because I'm going to go to a different city to get my EpiPen prescription. I may have to be a lot more incognito with the recording, but I'll make sure I get all the audio. And yeah, guys, have a great day. Enjoy it. It does suck that like, I thought the Hippocratic Oath would prevent something like this, because they literally they just broke the Hippocratic Oath, which is supposed to be something that, you know what I mean? Even if let's say a hypothetical terrorist, which I believe most terrorism is fictional anyways, a storybook. Regardless, if a terrorist came in there after blowing up and killing 300 people, they still have to give that man service. They can't turn him down service because of something simple. Something simple like yes, I am in park. I took it off my hands-free device. So it is a little bit ridiculous because they're breaking the Hippocratic Oath, because like, I literally had a legit concern. It's not like I faked a sickness or something like that, and I wasn't even bugging them for a Corona test. I only asked a few questions about it, which it seemed that they didn't have problems answering the questions. It was once they kind of figured out that I was recording shit, then all of a sudden, I'm sure that what that guy said, that he knew personally 10 different people, I'm sure if that was actually true or the case, what's it called? He wouldn't have said that. You know what I mean? He probably would have had to sign like NDAs. I'm sure he probably just repeated a statistic from the news, or one of the fakery stuffs, and from that, he's involved himself in it now, claiming that he's come in contact with, I bet you if I look it up right now, Hamilton probably only has 10 confirmed cases of Corona. Either way, I might take advantage of the inpatient census and call in through the phones to that specific hospital and ask what the patient census is. I'll try and ask for different stuff before I go for Corona. I'll go with like something like cancers and a look up a few other medical conditions that people that would have to be in the hospital for stuff like that. I'll ask for a couple censuses on those type of patients, and then work my way to finally asking about the corona. Because I think if I ask for the corona the first time, they might just hang up the phone, or who knows what they'll do. Well, I'll make sure I record that. That's not all going to be like right away. Anyways, back at home, nice beautiful backyard. Gonna come out about 5-10 minutes and fucking start shooting some guns. Maybe do some skeet shooting. Maybe just some 22 target shooting. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys can get out there and at least take the effort. As you've seen, I even gave them a hard time. They aren't truly arresting people and stuff like that. I don't have a trespassing order on me. They can't do it. Only cops can do that to me. Anyways, yeah, have a good one, and make sure you don't wash your hands. Touch all your genitalia. Touch everything in your house. Rub it all over your doors if you're worried about cops coming in to kick your doors in. Take videos and make your hands dirty and rub it all over your doorknobs, because apparently they're really fucking scared.